name is Tyrique, I'm a senior from Thunderbird. Put some respect. My name. His piece is entitled "The Willy Lynch Letter, Return to Sender." I heard of a lynching lynch mob in Lynchburg. I give you the source. A man whose hatred was pasted on this paper and I read in hanging quotes. In my bag, I have a foolproof method for controlling your slaves. I guarantee every one of you that if installed correctly will control the slaves for at least 300 years. Tears worked into my eyes as I read this statement. They escaped down my face, caught by gravity, sadly forced onto the ground by a foreign concept with no context. My heart perished, sank into my stomach. I could not digest this any slower. I could not fathom these quotes about these boats that crossed the James River, named after the king whose Bible they so cherished. A new translation we got lost in, a native language whipped off of tongues, our palates a place they pillaged house, that for a King James Version. Times like these make me wish I never learned to read, or was never born from seed. See, they planted this mindset into these plantations and we picked it. They say we're supposed to still be slaves, but knowledge is power and ignorance is bliss, and I'd much rather lather in my unknowing mind and find out why we still hate ourselves. They hated us first, or did we love each other first? Or is this letter a hearse, a eulogy for the death of you and me living in harmony? I take these differences and make them bigger. I use fear, distrust, and envy for control purposes, and when the slave's true soul surfaces, you crush it with hatred, with a drug war, with a war on drugs, a minor misdemeanor with malicious demeanor meant to make you ride chains. See, that mental bondage equivalent to the metal kind. Whatever you do, have it engraved in their minds, hate their differences. You must use the dark-skinned slaves versus the light-skinned slaves. Use the wrong-skinned slaves versus the all-right-skinned slaves. Use the shadow-skinned slaves against their own shadow. Make them hate each other. Videotape the hatred posted on Twitter, on WorldStar. Replay, retweet, like, share, believe, repeat. And as I read this, all I can think is, how like it or not, this guy is a visionary. I mean, he could see 300 years into the future. Hatred for your own people, we've seen it before. It's obvious. That's so Raven, and if you're still clueless, look at Stacy, who dashed on her people for a check the method. We breed 2 nigger males and 2 nigger females, then we take the nigger male away from the nigger female and keep them moving, working. Gentrified places, rent due faces, past due reparations, but landlords don't pay though. Single mothers do. Hustling on street corners or making minimum wage, the kids at home malnourished, fighting for noodle packets, feasting on each other, my brother from the same mother, our fathers. We don't know about those, they're gone, accepted. That's no reason to be behind. See, it's kind of hard growing up in the hood without a positive male role model to look up to. Message from Mr. Lynch. Take the mind, keep the body, face it. Oddly enough, the parallels are there, so I ask you, how many years has it been? Thank you.